Good morning. Speaking with Pat Farrell, pyrotechnician, and good morning, Pat. How are you today?
Oh, very good, Mike.
Okay, now I understand you're going to be doing the pyrotechnics at the Craft Celebration Tour, but before we get to that, Pat, give a little detail into what it takes to become a pyrotechnician and basically your day in the life, I guess, when you set up one of these shows.
Well, actually, it's with being a pyrotechnician, you have to take a course through the Explosives Regulatory Division through Ottawa. You take your course, you have to fire so many shows, then you work as an apprentice, and then it's finally like a journeyman, really, is what it is after. And then you get your level 1 and level 2, which is the highest you can go in fireworks. So, and that's what I have here, including aquatics, which I'm the only one in Newfoundland to do, firing into the water and out of the water explosions.
Really, very interesting. So what is the difference between firing fireworks, I guess, on the land and firing them on water or into water?
Well, I'll tell you, that's the crowd pleaser, is the aquatics, because I'll fire them right out into the middle of the bay. I'll keep them at a 30-degree angle. I'll fire them into the bay, and 10 seconds later they'll explode about 6 times, about 200 feet high in different colors. So it's something most haven't seen, actually, in Newfoundland. But lately, every town wants it once they see it.
Yeah, it must be very spectacular. Now, okay, we're going to talk about the Craft Celebration now. You've been contracted to do the big show on the 18th. I know you don't want to give all your secrets away, of course. You want to have the big show happening that night, but can you give us a little taste of potentially what we're going to be seeing that night?
Well, potentially. I don't know completely all the details from them yet, but I'm going to. It's going to be a. It's going to be a nice show. We're going to have a few different shapes, different types, a lot of loud reports. It'll be a nice show, and it'll be right at the end of the TSN. I think it goes from let's see, on Saturday it goes from 7:30 to 8:30, the live TSN, and I'm not sure yet whether I go right after that, because it's going to be a little light yet, but at the end of the celebration is when they want the fireworks. So
very good. Now we're talking about now let's move away from some of the actual show parts of it. Now the technical aspect, I remember back in the day, I've seen some documentaries about pyrotechnics. The guys used to be back there and they used to manually fire all these things. Give us a little detail as to the technical aspect of having a pyrotechnic show.
You know, most of the time I do in the small shows, I still hand fire them with a old-fashioned way with a flare. I'll load the mortars, like there's a mortar for each shell, depending on the size, and they're really like a ball with a fuse on. They're from 2 inches up to 12-inch shells, 50-pound shells that you have to fire 1,200 feet into the air. So it makes quite an explosion to get these shells up where you want them to be. Some shows we do pyro musicals completely wired, right from around here. Most of the shows are fairly small. Some bigger shows we use a computer system, but most around here I just do the manual fire type. That's what I enjoy the most, actually. It's the smaller shows, less setup and a little more enjoyable for me. It doesn't take 2 days to set up a little show for 12 minutes. So, yeah.
Well, you talk about, Pat, I can hear the smile in your voice when you're talking about doing these shows. How did you get involved with this? Did you just wake up one morning and said, yeah, I want to be a pyrotechnician, I want to be able to have these fireworks show? Like, what inspired you, Pat?
You know, I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, myself, and just moved here a few years ago. Married a Newfoundlander and ended up here. And I'll tell you, I've been all over Canada, and there's no place like Newfoundland. I'd never want to move back out west for sure. But I used to watch the shows out there, and then I found out I called around different government offices, how can I get into this? And finally there was me and the Regina Bomb Squad took a course, and so anyway, we once I got my course, I worked with a great guy, pyrotechnician in Regina, and got up to the highest level I could. And when I moved out here, I didn't know if I could get really much into fireworks, as I was, but then I joined a company, Fireworks FX, out of Nova Scotia, and they placed me all over the place in Eastern Canada here. So I've done Eastern Canada, I've done Western Canada, I've done actually the West Indies for different resorts. So yes, it's a lot of fun. If you ever see the show Pyros, that shows you exactly what what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very exciting, and I could tell you one thing. Growing up watching SCTV, we really love to blow things up good, don't we?
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah.
All right, Pat. I know you're a very busy guy. You're setting up a show today, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Yeah, Lower Island Cove tonight. I'm on my way to. Yeah. So.
Yes, very good. Now, if people would like to get a hold of you to put on shows or demonstrations or anything like that, Pat, how do they contact you, my friend?
Well, they can go to my webpage or my blog, PyroPat's Newfoundland Fireworks on Facebook. Pretty much the same thing on my blog, but PyroPat's Newfoundland Fireworks.blogspot.ca. Or just give me a call at home here, 472-4987.
Very good. Pyrotechnician Pat Farrell, thanks so much for taking time out this morning, and very interesting topics, man, and I'm sure we'll talk again.
Sure. Thank you.